Ladies and gentlemen of the Mortal Kombat community, I welcome you to a very special show. A show that will go beyond the personas of your favorite community members and give you a look at the person behind the player. Welcome to Life on Boon Street. Welcome one and all to Life on Boon Street. I'm your host, STV Take a Chance. Tonight, we have a very special show. We'll be talking in depth with a man who has just recently come off a very impressive performance at Texas Showdown. We'll be discussing immensely personal topics, and we'll be giving him nothing but respect and admiration for his courage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you one of the top katanas in our scene today, the always positive Mr.Mileena. Welcome to Boon Street, Mr. Mileena.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Alright, let's get right into it.
Okay.
Mr. Mileena, some of our viewers may not be aware of your real name. Please share with us your first and last name.
Okay, guys. My first name is Joseph, and then my last name is Silva, S-I-L-V-A.
Any relationship to Anderson Silva?
I wish.
Alright. If your life was a story, how would it begin? Once upon a time, it all started, or it was a day like any other day.
Alright, well, once upon a time, on June 12th, 1992, a beautiful baby named Joseph Silva was born into this world. Little did we know that baby Joseph was going to be a video gamer as he grew older. When he was 3 years old, he played Mortal Kombat 2, and he fell in love with katana. And that day started the entire katana Joseph, Mr.Mileena, birth or whatever. So as the years went by, he was loved by his family. He was very, very energetic, very happy. He loved video games. So his childhood was really, really fun. He was really happy. But unfortunately, as he grew older, he began to question things about his lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So video games and family were very comforting, but at the same time, Joseph had a very, very puzzling question as he grew by the years. Mm-hmm. That question is essentially, as you may know, or as you guys may know, about my sexuality. So that's where the conflict occurs in this story. So as his high school years went by and now college years, it's very, very tough to identify himself with society, which we will break down hopefully in this.
We will definitely go in
right now. The story is not yet completed, but that's all we have now.
Wow.
A bad storyteller, but
no, dude, that's a great way to kick off our show. Well, let's go back. You gave us kind of a brief overview there. I want to go back to the past. I want to go right back. I want us to start. Did you want me to call you Joseph or Mr. Mileena?
You can call me Mr. Mileena. That's fine. Or Joe. It's up to you.
Alright, Mr. Mileena. Let's go all the way back. Let's start at the beginning. Tell us about where you were born. Do you have any stories from that place, local hangouts, good friends, hobbies, etc.? Let's talk about a young Mr. Mileena.
Okay, first of all, I was born in Brownsville, Texas. It's literally right next to the border, between Texas and Mexico. When I was young, there really wasn't too much, going on in our city. I mean, we had a mall, a theater, as I grew older, they have a bowling alley. As I started meeting friends from school and hanging out with them, the mall, bowling alley, I loved hanging out there. Mm-hmm. We're also an hour away from South Padre Island, which is a really good spring break, getaway. So, I love to go tanning and stuff. But the main thing is, this city is really like family friend oriented. Like everybody knows each other, even though it's a big city.
Hmm.
Everybody's friendly, and I don't know. I just love being here.
So, tell us about the bowling alley. Where is this bowling alley located?
It's located in the northern part of our city, right next to the mall too. So when I was younger, I would love to go bowling, even though I suck at it. I always have to have those gutters on the side so the ball won't like go on. Yeah, but I still love doing it, even though I suck at it. But
Right. I used to work at a bowling alley, actually. So I'll ask you a question. Is this 5 or 10 pin?
is this what?
Is it 5 or 10 pin bowling?
10.
10 pin. Well, of course. We have dinky alleys here that are 5 pin. What did you bowl on average?
Probably like 100 or 110. 300 is really bad, but yeah.
So you didn't go there because you were a super awesome bowler.
No, I love just hanging out with, friends or family, it was really, really fun. And then we always made fun of like my scores. Like I think one game I actually got like 28 or 29 out of 300. That was like really bad. But yeah, it was just really fun.
Who were your friends? Were you more of a, I asked, Tom Brady a similar question. Were you more of a jock? Were you more of a, an intellectual? Were you a floater? What was a young Mr.
I
Mileena?
mean, I don't want to say floater, but I was popular in the fact that I'm not like jock or anything, but that I loved everybody and everybody loved me. Like I would always say hi to everybody. My friends that I would hang around with were generally like just like normal, like just we didn't really label ourselves, and it didn't matter if you were a jock or if you were like a gothic kid or like a bookworm or preppy kid. I would always just talk to you, I don't care what your label was like in school, and because of that, every time we switched classes, I would literally say hi to like 5 people every turn in a hall. So I just talked to everybody. I hung out with everybody. So I guess floater. I'm not sure. But
You were kind of the jack of all trades guy.
kind of, yeah. I'm really friendly with people.
It shows in your speech. You can tell that you're a genuinely nice guy. There are some people you talk to and okay, they have this little gritty side to them. But
Yeah.
when people, I think, hear the voice of Joseph, I think they, like myself, can hear that nice guy attitude. I don't know how that fares out for you in life, but it resonates in your voice.
Thank you.
So, where do you currently reside? Tell us about where you came to, like how you came to be where you are now.
I still live in Brownsville, Texas. I've lived here all my life. A year ago, I actually moved in with a roommate and his friend. That went well. I used to work at my college's library, but unfortunately this semester I'm taking too many classes and I just can't work. So, actually like 2-3 weeks ago, I moved back in with my dad. Still in the same city. I go to school in the same city too. So, yeah, I've been here all my life and I love it, but I'm ready to move out, to a different city in a couple of years. So we'll see how that goes.
What city do you have in mind?
Either New York, New York City, or, Austin, Texas. Those are my two, like.
So you dream big.
Yeah, I do dream big.
What's drawing you to New York or Texas?
There's schools. I've been looking into like medical schools. I don't really know their names, but Austin has a really good program, and New York does too. But an added thing for New York would be like the whole VSM thing.
Yes.
Like how cool would it be if I went to school and maybe MK10 if it comes out in the future? I'll be ready for that, and training with them. So, I won't be moving there just for VSM, but if my school really, looks good there and stuff, then yeah, that's an added compliment to studying there. So,
what are you currently studying?
I'm a major in biology. I'm not sure what I really want to be when I grow up. But I'm thinking a cardiovascular, surgeon, but we'll see.
You do dream big.
I told.
Alright. You talked about, your hangouts, and you seem to have a deep connection to your city or your place of living. You talk about your friends and your family. It sounds like you're very close to those people. I want to know about your family. Who are your parents? Who are
My
your brothers and sisters, if you have them? Tell us about your family.
Well, my dad is actually, he's named I'm named after him. His name is, Joseph Silva also. And my mom is, Margie Rodriguez. But before I get to that, I haven't talked to my mother in about over a decade due to personal problems. So, that side of the family, I'm not, close with. She doesn't even reside here. Like, she lives in Arizona. So, when I went to Devastation, I was literally like 10 minutes away from her, 15 minutes away from her.
Yeah.
So that was pretty hard, but in terms of my father's side, I'm really close to them, but even though my childhood, represented really close structure with my family's like a mess. Like, they're all like in fights and arguments, and some aunts and uncles don't talk to each other,
I sympathize.
Huh?
I sympathize.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, they're all broken apart. I usually talk to all of them. I'm like in the middle, like I don't choose sides, But it really is sad because when I was smaller, Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas gatherings and et cetera, et cetera. It was so warm and soothing to see the entire family, cousins, aunts, uncles, just be together and, have a good time and just show our love for each other. And now we don't have that. So it is hard, but overall, I love my family, but unfortunately they can't see eye to eye, which is really sad.
How can I explain this correctly? When your family gets into these altercations, do they make you pick, or do they try to make you pick a side?
No, they don't. I mean, obviously if something ever happened, I would always choose my father's side. This is my father. But, no, that doesn't really happen. It's just, they don't really talk to each other now. Recently, like, my dad and, his sister that didn't talk for a while, they met up last week and they came over. It was really nice. But, I just wish all of us, like all the entire family could just go to like a gathering and just make amends for the past. But, one can only dream.
What is your fondest memory with your family?
It'd have to be at like those Thanksgiving dinners we used to have because I have like 40, 50 cousins. Like, it's crazy. And they would all come over and we would all play like video games or games outside. And then I don't know, like we were just so innocent back then, and just seeing our family like all together and laughing and having fun and dancing, eating and whatnot. I just really wish those times were now,
What part of that do you miss the most? You say you really wish those times were now. So if you pictured this happening this Sunday, what do you see? What's going on?
I'd probably burst out in tears because I haven't seen some family members in years, and that's probably the hardest part is not seeing your loved ones that you've seen before, especially. Not only that, my mother, I miss her. And not many people know that. I don't have a relationship with her due to personal issues,
Yeah.
But, I mean, we were both at fault. I mean, I had a part in it and she had a part in it too, but, and I would tell her I don't want to talk to you. I mean, I don't miss you. I don't want anything to do with you. When I was younger, I didn't really know what that meant until now, where you long for that motherly love and that relationship, and that's something I really don't talk about, and it's just, I keep it inside, and that would be one of my wishes, if this Sunday that would happen. Yeah, I'd love to see my whole family united, but my mom, I miss her so much. That'd be really nice, just to establish a connection with her again.
What's stopping you from establishing that connection?
I guess pride. I can't. I don't know. I mean, I kind of do. I mean, now I kind of do want to make amends with her, but before it's just. I guess I don't want to be proven wrong, or I want to be the one to like apologize, But I mean, now I do miss her, and hopefully in the future I'll fly out again to Arizona and find her and just make amends. Like it really does take a toll on your conscience.
For sure.
Yeah. So.
A statement that resonates well in my family, you can take this for what it's worth, is no matter what your family does, or your parents, and in my case, I share a similar family background as you do, and I also share an estranged relationship with my mother, and I will tell you this, and this is the only word of advice or words I will say regarding the matter that aren't yours. You can't pick your family, and no matter what they do, they are still your family, which is a good and bad thing. And it's to come to terms with that is the hard part.
The weirdest thing about what you said was when my grandpa was on the verge of passing away due to an illness a couple of years ago. He kind of said the same thing, but in Spanish, because we're Hispanic. But in Spanish, he kind of said, not word for word, but the same meaning. And I guess that's when it hit me about my whole mother situation, because I understand you can't pick your family and stuff, but I'm always the type of person who tries to make amends first, and I don't understand why I can't do this with my mom.
Yeah.
Even if it's not my fault, I will go and apologize and just be friends again. I was always that type of person, but I just don't understand why I can't do that with my mom.
It must be conflicting, because here's the person who it should be the easiest to reconcile differences with, and it turns out to be the hardest to even start.
Yeah.
What, just sticking with the family motif, what does your family think of your current, Mortal Kombat activities or career?
Only 3 people really know about it. Like, it's my dad, obviously, and then my cousin and his mom. And, they're really supportive of it. However, my dad was really freaking out when I went to Devastation in terms of flying out and, staying by myself. I actually stayed with people from TYM and MKU. I just told him I was by myself. He would freak out if I told him I was rooming with people I would meet for the first time.
Yeah.
But as far as my career in MK, he's really supportive of it. Obviously, he strives for me. He wants me to do well in school, and as long as MK doesn't take that away from me, he'll support me 100%. And he actually called me a spammer in Spanish, when I do fans at Tom Brady. So that was pretty, I was like, wow. But yeah, he's really good about it. So.
This is going to be probably the meatiest part of our interview. And I would just like to let our viewers know that this is not a subject that's easy to talk about.
Yeah.
And, I hope that we can have the utmost respect in terms of what we're going to give someone of your caliber who gives so much to the community when they're talking about something like this. Let's talk about your lifestyle. Some community members know about your true sexuality. Some don't. So, this is your chance of catharsis even. This is your moment, persecution bias free. Tell us about your life. Tell us about your lifestyle.
Okay, well, I'll just say right now, I am a bisexual. In real life, I'm closeted, which means I live a lie. I live a lie that I'm straight. So we'll get to how I realized that I could have been gay or bisexual. So my childhood was really innocent. It was really fun, but I want to say when I was 8 or 9, obviously as a child you don't know what sex is. We don't know that. But I guess I had a crush on Ricky Martin, as funny as that sounds. I don't know, I would always have him in my mind, and I didn't know why. I even at 10 or so, I would picture him shirtless, and I was like, why am I thinking this? I was 9 and 10, and I was picturing Ricky shirtless. Um, I mean, it was just so baffling for me, and um, I didn't know what the word gay meant until I was in fourth or fifth grade. Like some guys were picking on this guy and on this boy, and they called him gay. And I actually asked my dad, "What does gay mean?" And he kind of like didn't want to answer. Like he just like blew it off. Like he didn't give me the correct answer. I don't know what he said, but it just wasn't the correct definition. So I lived like 2 or 3 more years just puzzled and confused. I don't know. And then when I went to middle school, like those urges became a little stronger.
Mm.
And then I knew what gay meant at that time. And I was like, no, that's not me. I'm probably just like in a phase or, it just can't be me.
Right.
Because where I come from, it's not accepted. And that's one of the reasons I'm so closeted. So I kept fighting the thoughts of me actually being bisexual or gay because, I was attracted to girls. I can't deny that. I was. But I don't understand why I had these urges or fantasies or whatever about guys. I felt disgusting. I felt like, why am I thinking this? So, my high school years is when it really was apparent that, yeah, I guess I am. In high school, you see all kinds of things. They were openly gay or bisexual or lesbian students in high school, and you would see them get bullied or harassed or in some cases even beat up. And I was like, no, I can't come out. I love everybody. Everybody loves me. I don't want to lose people. And I understand if they're really your friends, they'd be by your side forever. But still, even till this day, I can't picture myself coming out here.
Right.
So maybe if I move to New York or Austin or whatever, I can start a new life there. But as of now, as my childhood, adolescent years, it really took a toll on me. There were nights where I just cried myself to sleep because why was I born this way? Why do I have to be gay or why do I have to be bi or
Right.
One really shouldn't think that way. It's just society doesn't accept it, and that's why it's so hard.
Do you think that maybe your perception of I can't come out and say this? I know that I'm surrounded by a great group of people, but it sounds as if you're almost scared that your foundation is going to give way, that everyone is going to go away.
Yeah.
Do you think that might be because of your family issues as well? Like, you're all split up there, and then you're scared that may happen with your friends as well.
Not really. It's just more the fact that I'll get hated for it. One thing is losing someone, but one thing is actually have someone hating you, and I don't think I have someone that hates me, and it's hard. I don't know what I would do. I know there's 2 users on here that I've recently met that live about 30-45 minutes away from me.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know about this. So, if they ever watch this, you know who I am in real life. I know who you are, and I don't know what to say. It's so scary to actually think that they won't accept you, that they'll hate you,
mm-hmm.
And that they'll tell like the entire community we have here of like fighting games, that, oh, Mr.Mileena is a fag, because that word is basically what people, perceive us to be. It's really offensive, but
mm-hmm.
I've heard it all the time. People think I'm straight. My dad thinks I'm straight.
Yep.
The Spanish word for fag, excuse me for that word, but it's foto. And my dad would always use that word if he would see gay people.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I would be like, you have one under your roof.
Right.
But I couldn't tell him that.
Oh.
And I was just thinking to myself, like, you have one under your roof, and you're here. I don't think he hates them. It's just the whole Latino community just expects a man to be a man. I don't understand why a gay man can't be a man, and to be with a woman, and work and bring home the bacon, whatever. It's really, really a stereotype. So, yeah.
I asked this Simply because I do not know the answer.
It's okay. Yes. Just ask.
My question is, who would be the hardest person to tell?
It'd be my dad. Because we have such a strong relationship. I think he would be accepting of it. He just might not take it in as easily.
Right.
He's asked me before if I was. When I was 15, I was really mature. I cared so much about how I looked, and I wanted on highlights. And that's when he asked me, oh, are you gay? And I was like, no.
Like half serious or jokingly?
No, serious. He talked to me. He's like, are you gay? And I was like, of course in Spanish, but
yes.
I was like, no, I actually have a girlfriend. And I lied at the time. He asked me when I was 15, and I lied. Mm-hmm. I did have a girlfriend before for like a month, but I wasn't really comfortable talking to him about these things. But when he asked me that, I was not in a relationship, so I just made up a lie that I was. I made up a name. I made up what school she went to just so I can cover it. And he believed it, and I mean, it caught me off guard. Mm-hmm. And I just said no. And he's like, good, because I don't want a fag in my family. And I was like,
oh wow.
I was like, oh my god. I cried that night. I mean, I know he said that, but maybe because I said that I was straight, I don't know. I still would not talk about anyone like that, but it hurt to have him say that.
That would be excruciatingly painful.
Yeah, it was so heartbreaking, and oh my god, for like a week or two, I was just, I actually like prayed to have this go away. I mean, I was so desperate just to be normal. I mean, and I'm not saying that being gay or bisexual or lesbian is not normal. It's just at the time that's what I perceived it to be, Yeah. So, yeah, that's one sentence I'll never ever forget that came out of my dad's mouth. I mean, I know he didn't mean it, but at that time I felt like I was a failure or something. So.
Do you view life as being any different if you're lesbian, gay, bisexual, or straight?
It should, in my opinion, it shouldn't, but unfortunately we live in a world where it is, you can't get married in 44 of the 50 states. Only 6 allow for you to be married. Society as a whole just frowns upon homosexual people, or bisexual people, or transgender people. I mean, and it really shouldn't happen, but unfortunately, just people will hate you for what you are, and it shouldn't. I just wish we lived in a world where acceptance was, vital and one of the main things. But unfortunately, there's hate crimes towards gays, and it's hard because as a gay person or a bisexual person, you have to come out, which it wouldn't make sense, like, to come out if you're straight. I mean, why do gay people have to make that big step and lose loved ones or friends during that process,
Right.
There's so many burdens that we deal with. One of the main ones is for the people who are closeted, you're living a lie. Mm-hmm. And you're lying to yourself every day. You're lying to your friends and your family every single day. And that's so hard because it's, like, I'm happy to a certain point. I know I could be happier. Mm-hmm. I'm not sad or depressed, but I know I could be a lot happier if I just lived my life the way I want to.
Right.
But society is really, really, really tough. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's hard. So, it is hard. It is different if you're straight. It's a lot of an easier life in terms of society accepting you. Whereas if you're gay or bi, it's so much harder. So.
How old are you now?
I'll be 20 in June. I'm 19.
And you've known since you were how old?
9. I mean, at the time I didn't know, but if I look back to it now, 9, like 8 or 9. I had those thoughts, So for people who say that you're not born with it, you're mistaken. You are so born with it. At 8, I don't know what sex is about. I don't know what this is about, and why did I have those fantasies or thoughts of Ricky? I'm 8, so it's not a choice. Mm-hmm. Believe me, if it was a choice, I'd be straight because it's a lot easier. But I'm not. So Yeah.
Are you part of any even online support groups for this? Like, do you?
No, no. The only thing I did was join a Call of Duty con for gay, bisexual, transgendered people, but I stopped with that. But no, it's hard because once you why would a straight person join that?
Right.
So if I were to join that, it would.
You feel like it's gonna wreck your persona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, there are a few people in our community that are open. This is just something I'm thinking off the top of my head. If they could anonymously PM you via test your mind, MKU, what have you, would you be open to them contacting you? Maybe you could share some experiences, talk about it, you know?
Anonymously, no, because there could be people that just I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I would rather them just talk to me like their names, you know. I won't mention names. I mean, we know who they are, but I just don't want to mention names. But no, and honestly, no. I mean, I'd rather have that person just talk to me because they know. I mean, I'm open in the community.
Yeah.
So, and then they're open. Like I looked up to them when I joined like 3 years ago because it's something I couldn't come to terms with, being open. So when I saw these community members, you know, being open about their sexuality, I figured, you know, I'll give it a shot too. I mean, they don't know me in real life. I'm never gonna meet them, which I'm mistaken because I already met a lot of them, which, you know, I love. But I figured, why not? I'll be open about it too. And surprisingly, I mean, till this day, I've never really gotten like direct hate for it, which is really nice. But you all come from different walks of life. You know, where I come from, it's really, really frowned upon. You know.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I feel it'd be more appropriate to wait to come out until I move out of here because it's hard. So, you know, I thought about it and I let the community know. I mean, and it felt good.
You're probably looking forward to getting that kind of feeling in the real world too, right?
Kind of, but I'm scared at the same time.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Like even now, I'm scared. Like those two players that I know, if they listen to this, what are they gonna think or do? You know, are they gonna stop talking to me? Are they gonna just like it's nothing ever happened? You know, it's no big deal. Are they gonna hate me? Or you know, so
let's think of it this way. What if they don't do anything and just keep on acting like they are yet?
Then that'd be really, really like warming and soothing. You know, I'd be so, I don't know, I'd be happy.
Right.
So, because I'm not here to hook up with people. I'm here to play a game. You know, and those two people in particular, we meet up, you know, to play. I haven't met them in a while, but you know, a couple months ago, we would always like go to, you know, local tournaments and stuff like that because we support MK.
Right.
So that's why it'd be heartbreaking for them to stop talking to me just because of my lifestyle. So, yeah.
Personally, I just don't think it's fair, as a person to have to, you know, hide who you are.
Yeah.
Because you're scared of someone else's retaliation.
Yeah.
I understand to the fullest of why people do it. I'm just saying, as a whole, I think that is such a horrible situation for anyone to be in.
And that, I mean, I know you don't mean wrong with that comment or that statement, but when people say that to me, like online here, like I've had friends in MKU tell me the same thing, it only makes me feel worse. Because I know you're not meaning that, but when someone says, I feel sorry for you, or, you know, I pity you, or, you know, you shouldn't have to go through that, it just makes me feel like I don't know, it makes me feel like I was born into a life that is like cursed or something. Like I have to go through so many obstacles just to reach my goal of like being open about it. And then once you reach that goal, you don't know what's going to happen. Are you gonna lose friends? Are you gonna lose family members? Are you gonna get hated on? Are you gonna get beat up? Are you gonna get harassed? What's gonna happen? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's nice to have people like you and many people in the community who just don't care. Like, you're Mr. Mileena because you're Mr. Mileena. You're not, you know? So, but, I mean, we'll see how the world reacts to my coming out in a couple of years.
We shall see. Let's kind of move. We've talked about the past. Let's kind of get to the present now. Let's talk about you now. What's your, well, I guess you've already talked about this. I guess your current occupation is student, correct?
Student. Mm-hmm.
What is your course load like right now? Like, how often are you in school?
I'm in school almost every day, even on the weekends, just to, catch up with studying or research or whatever. But, Mondays and Wednesdays I'm there from 11 a.m. to 10 o'clock, pure classes. And then Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, it's 3 or 4 hours. But just the homework and the studying is so hard. It's so much, So, this semester I really, don't have a life. It's sad. I always used to go clubbing and parties and going out and this and that, and this semester is just, if I do that, I'll fail. So, it's so hard. I made a mistake in taking so many classes.
Mm-hmm. Can I just ask you, just because you just brought it up, when you go out partying and clubbing, or you used to,
yeah.
What was that like? Did you have to, did you go hit on girls? Or...
Okay, when I would go clubbing with friends, I haven't clubbed this semester. I think November was the last time I went. I would just dance with my friends. I have a lot of girlfriends, friends that are girls, so I would just dance with them and take turns dancing with them and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they question it too, because I would never hit on a girl, just because, well, I guess we'll talk about this in another question. I can bring it up now. I did date girls when I was younger, but I just didn't feel complete, obviously because I wanted to date a guy. Mm-hmm. So, obviously I'm not out, so I couldn't go hit on a guy. I've been hit on by guys at clubs, and I would just pretend one of my friends was my girlfriend, or I would just say no or whatever. But generally I would just drink and dance. I never really hit on a girl. I've been hit by girls too, but I would blow them off. Mm-hmm. So, just because I wasn't interested. But when guys would hit on me, I wanted to go with the flow so bad, but I couldn't.
Right.
So, yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like to just, it's almost like you're being taunted.
Yeah, basically. And then I can't have you because I can't risk, letting this out. Right. So, there's plenty of guys too who act straight and they're not. I mean, I have a lot of friends who are in the same situation I am, and it's really comforting. I mean, we can't be open about it with society, but we know that we're in the same boat. I have about 5 or 6 friends that I know that are living the lie I am too.
I was actually just about to ask you, do you have I know you're not in a relationship openly at the moment, but do you have a secret relationship, or did you ever have a secret relationship with someone?
No, I mean, I guess flings. I've had flings, but I mean, as a relationship, I don't want to date secretly. I just
right.
Why should I have to do that? I mean, I've been asked, and I kind of wanted to say yes, but it's hard. I mean, why? I don't know. When someone asks you, "Oh, is that your brother or is that your friend?" Yeah, you can't say, "Oh no, that's my boyfriend." I mean, you want to say that, but I mean, I'm living a lie now. Why do I have to lie more about my relationship?
Right.
So, I mean, I'll be caught up with so much lies, and unfortunately, sadly, I've had to say no. I mean, 2 of my friends are dating secretly, and they go through so much hassle and cover-ups and this and that, and I'm glad I didn't follow through with that, but I mean, they're happy.
Right.
And I wish I could be happy like that, but maybe it would help, but at the end of the day, it wouldn't, because it's just too many lies. So, yeah.
Well, let's talk about, you're in school all the time. You have a very, very, very hectic school schedule.
Yeah.
What do you do during your downtime? What does Mr. Mileena do when he has nothing to do?
Obviously MK. I love playing MK. Video games, they're really part of my life.
Mhm.
But, again, this semester is just hard, but, past semesters when I had more free time and whatnot, I'd love to obviously go clubbing, partying, hanging out with friends, having like lunch with them. I love playing tennis too, but I suck at it. I love going tanning. I love, I know I'm gonna get like skin cancer or something, but I love tanning.
Are you like a GTL guy?
No, not anymore. I mean, I've done research and, should I keep up doing that? I'll probably get like melanoma or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
But I would go to tanning salons, beaches, and I would be like brown and, I kind of stopped doing that, but I still do it occasionally. But no, I don't want to look like a Jersey Shore, no, God forbid, no.
So, you like to play Mortal Kombat in your downtime, you like to go tanning. Let's talk about the community.
Okay.
Let's move right into where we're at now. Lately, there's been a lot of controversy about East and West.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you recently attended a Texas tournament.
Yeah.
If you had to pick between the two areas, which area do you most identify with?
I'd probably say the West, only because, we know the East has, VSM and, Rio and CD Junior and all those good players, They're the best of the best right now, But I identify myself with the West only because, I guess you can say we're like the underdogs. Like, I want to root for them. I love CD Junior, I love CD Rio, but I want to see the underdogs, beat them, like in a 5v5 or whatever. Because essentially I'm in the same situation. One day I would love to have like a 5v5 with myself being in the West side against VSM,
Yes.
I'll get bodied, yeah, but hopefully, can pull out a win or something. But yeah, I'm pulling for the West.
It's kind of one of those situations where, okay, if you beat me, so what?
Yeah.
But if I beat you...
Yeah, you're not going to hear the end of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first fighting game you've ever played? And I've asked this to my previous two guests as well. Do you remember the first fighting game?
Yeah. When I was 3, Mortal Kombat 2 was my first one, and I think my dad had MK3 also. It was for the Super Nintendo. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was. And I would play Katana in both. And, when I played her, I'm like, this girl is gonna be, I'm gonna be the best Katana, and all I would do was like, uppercut. That's all I would do, uppercut. Mash buttons, and occasionally like a fan lift or a fan would come out, and I would be so excited, and, but after that, I think I was like into like Super Mario and stuff, but when I turned 10, I think it was like when the PS2 came out, Tekken Tag Tournament, was it like officially like the first fighting game I really like got into. I sucked at it, but I grew up with Tekken basically. Tekken, and then Tekken 3, I bought that one, and then Tekken 4, 5, and, it went on from there.
Yeah.
And, I got back into MK, in MKDC. I played all of them, but I just wasn't really like into it because I sucked so bad.
Yeah.
So, I'd say Tekken and Mortal Kombat were like the two fighting games that I grew up with. So.
What attracted you to fighting games? Like, when you got to Tekken, what was that, factor that made you say, alright, I want to really learn this game, or I want to really learn MK versus DC? What was that attribute that gripped you?
I like the whole, like, mind game things. Like, there's so much strategy involved, and the fact that if, like, your opponent guesses wrong, or, like, I guess I didn't know the word back then, but, like, footsies were, like, a big thing, and I would always walk back and, like, try and punish, like, a whip string or whatever. I just loved, like, timing things, like, correctly, or, Just outplaying my opponent, basically.
You really like the mental part of it.
I love it.
Let's talk about your place in the current community.
Okay.
You recently placed, very well at Texas Showdown.
Mm-hmm.
With, actually, Sindel, who is considered a low-tier character.
Yeah.
What do you think of the current, quote-unquote, low-tier characters, like Sindel, Jade, Shiva, Striker, etc.?
I did use Katana for a pool play, because I had like 4 Mileenas, but for top 16, I kinda went all Sindel, with the exception of Cat. I used Katana and lost, but, as far as like tier lists and low tiers, my personal opinion would be like, every character is tournament viable. Doesn't matter if you play Cabal or Shiva, they're both viable. The only difference with Cabal and Shiva is, currently right now, counterpicking is like essential if you want to like have a smooth tournament win or whatever.
Yeah.
So, with counterpicking in mind, Cabal and Shiva, they're both viable. The only difference is, with Cabal, you only have to counterpick like 2 or 3 matches, Whereas with Shiva, she does have 5-5 matches, but you have to counterpick like 18 or 19, 20 matches, So, you don't have to do it, but that's just the reality. She does have bad matchups, and if you want to have a smoother, tournament, then you would play a high character. Like in my case, I play Katana for Mileena. I hate that matchup for Sindel.
Mm-hmm.
But even in her 4-6 matchups, like Kenshi, I bodied Kenshi's. Scarlet, I think Scarlet beats Sindel. I beat a Scarlet player, very good, Emperor Scar. Cyrax, I think that's another bad matchup for Sindel, and I still beat a good Cyrax player.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you don't want to counterpick, then that's fine. It'll be hard, and I know you're a Jade player. It's really hard for Jade to win some matchups. But if you're dedicated enough, which I know you are to Jade, I really think it will be tough. It'll be really hard, but you can definitely pull it off. So, so for people who say like Baraka and Sindel and Jade and Shiva that they suck and they're not viable, you're mistaken, So, if you really want to be successful with a low tier character, like making top 8 or winning, unfortunately you do have to counterpick. I wanted to open up Texas Showdown using Sindel, but I had 4 Mileenas in my pool, so I was like, you know what, I'll just go Katana all day.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't until top 16 where Shankster barely beat my Katana, and then I picked Sindel and I beat his Kenshin Raiden, that's what people say is the best character in the game, which I don't agree with, and then people like PL and Rice is Right and whatever said that Sindel was the worst character in the game. So by those opinions, the worst character in the game beat the best player in the character in the game.
Right.
You can't count characters out just because of like their tier list or whatever. So
we have people like Tom Brady, and even Pig actually talked about this a little bit. I'm going to ask you a similar question that I asked them. Do you think it's necessary for people to actually have teams? Like, do you think that in order to win, maybe not win all the time, but in order to win a tournament, you need to have an assortment of players? Or of characters, sorry.
It depends. Like I said, if you pick a low tier character, I would have a better character just to have, as backup. But I play Katana, and I really look up to 16-bit only because he is he's so determined to win only with Katana. And I think Katana is a character where you don't have to counter. She can win every match. It doesn't matter if it's a 4-6, she can win.
Mm-hmm.
So, it does depend on the pick. So, but essentially, I can see where counterpicking does, make a tournament easier. Like, why should I have to suffer a 4-6 with Kenshi when I can just pick, Kung Lao or whatever,
Right.
But I think it feels so much better to beat a matchup where you're supposed to lose or win characters to lose and then you come out victorious, you know. So I got fourth place, but fourth place with mainly Sindel. I was so happy about that.
Oh, for sure. That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone's going to take that away from you.
Yeah.
My question is this, though. And I didn't get to ask this in detail before, so I'll ask you. When you're in a matchup, and personally, I know that if I'm in a matchup that, you know, I'm getting bodied in, my first game, you know, maybe I got rolled, alright? And I have a decision to make, and I'm kind of buying time at the character select screen. And I'm thinking, alright, do I switch characters now? Or do I stay with the character that, you know I know how to react to things with, I know what to do if I need to punish, I know how to punish everything, you know, or I whip out my 3-week-old pocket counter and try to go at it.
Well, in your case, I would just stick with your main because, you know, a 3-week-old pocket counterpick it won't get the job done. I mean, maybe it could, but you'd be a lot better picking, I guess, like Jade. But I had a similar situation at Texas Showdown. When Shankster barely beat my katana, I went to the player select screen and I took like 30 seconds. Like, I literally was like, should I stay with katana or should I go Sindel?
Right.
And I went to Sindel, but I'm so nervous. Like, I was so nervous at Texas Showdown. It's so bad. I know I could have done better, but no excuses. You know, it is what it is. But I knew at that time, I am so nervous. I was making silly mistakes. I can't afford to do that with katana again. I'll just go Sindel and we'll see where that takes me. So I picked her. I've been playing her since like November. So she's 5 months old, which is not that bad. So, I literally bodied his Kenshi, and his Raiden, I felt bad for Raiden. I mean, he talked so much crap to me that my Sindel would not, you know, be victorious in beating Shankster. He called me out like weeks before Texas Showdown, you know, and it felt so good to beat Kenshi and Raiden and ultimately Shankster with Sindel. So bittersweet. Yeah, I mean, go with your gut. Don't counterpick just because the matchup says you have to counterpick because it's bad for you. If you feel confident in your character despite it being a 3-7, 4-6, whatever, go with your gut. You know? Because once you're rolled up like that, once you're so like shaken by the fact that your main character just lost to XYZ, once you make that counterpick, you might be at a worse, you know, situation because you won't know how to adjust, you won't know what to do. He just beat your main character. How can your secondary beat him if you beat your main? You know, like it's a lot of mind games. So if you feel you need a counterpick, go for it. But if you're saying just stick with your main character, then do that. You know. So,
what is your opinion on tier lists for matchups?
I mean, it shouldn't. I really don't know what to say for that. I mean, I can understand people using it as a general, you know, guide to how much advantage you have over a matchup, but people act like once they see a 4-6 counterpick, 3-7 counterpick, you can do so much to work in that matchup. I used to think Kenshi Katana was just like 3-7. It was just so bad, and you know, I'll say it's 4-6 right now, but I feel it could go even if a katana player can get everything down, you know. But, you can't really just go by match with this. I mean, it's there to provide a general guide.
Yeah.
To really base like, okay, I need to counterpick these 4 matchups. Like, what character counterpicks most of them, or should I pick up a third to counterpick my main and secondary character that can't, you know, put up with that match? No, I mean, if you do that, I mean, you'll win, but I just don't think it'll feel as good to win by counterpicking almost every single match.
Right.
So, I don't know. That's why I look up to 16-bit so much, because, he's all katana. So.
For now.
Well, I think he'll stay all katana.
Yeah, he seems to be one with the princess, so.
And I mean, another thing, when I picked up Sindel, like, people were like, have you seen her matchups? Like, terrible. Like, wasting your time with her. And I could see where that comes from because a lot of top players, you know, you hear them saying, I'm gonna pick up Cage. I'm gonna pick up Sonya, Cabal,
Yeah.
Jax, you know. But then you hear a top player say, I'm gonna pick up Sindel, and I'm gonna take you to the tournament. And people just like laughed about it. Like they made jokes to me. Detroit Ballin even told me like, honestly, you should just go to Connor. Like Sindel's not, she's good, but it's just she won't be tournament viable. And if it weren't for her, if it weren't for Sindel, I don't think it could have gone for it. I think my Katana probably would have lost to Shensu. And I don't know what place I would have gotten, but Sindel definitely played a big role in my success in Texas Showdown. So don't listen to those matchups. Like, just pick who you want to pick and play who you want to play. So
Many players get nervous when they sit down to play a match. I myself am immensely guilty of this. I have nerves. How do you feel as, the round one fight flashes across your monitor at a tournament for the first time, your very first night?
mortified. So scared. Like every matchup, I don't understand. I can't explain the feeling when you have people behind you and shouting and cheering and whatever. It's so much pressure. It's just, my hands literally shook every single match. I was dropping combos and it's hard, but, if you can bring like music, if you can, I don't know, just do something to calm down. I mean, nothing I did worked. So I played like shaking. Literally felt like an earthquake was like happening every match, but, if you can't get over your nerves, you're not going to be successful because, they really play a role in it. Before and after the tournament, I just did so well in casuals. Excuse me. But during tournament play, I guess since I did so well at Devastation, I felt more pressure.
Mm-hmm.
The nerves were just so much. I mean, it's natural to be nervous, but to a certain point. I mean, I'm naturally a nervous person, so I didn't know how to deal with it, and unfortunately, it did disrupt my play, you know. So
What are your coping strategies? Did you have any at all?
no, that's always a mistake. I just like went in there and sat down, and then round one, and I was like, oh my god, I'm on screen. Oh my god, this is tournament play. What do I do? Like, yeah. So I dealt with it. Like, I was so nervous. I didn't eat for 23 hours when I was a showdown because I was so scared, so nervous, you know. So
Do you have a regimen now to help with this after experiencing that?
probably not. I mean, I have ideas, but I mean, like I said, I'm a nervous person, and I mean, I'll always be nervous. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully not as much, but um, it's okay to be nervous. But if they're so strong, if it's so much to where you're shaking or you can't concentrate, then yeah, I mean, I'm trying to find like a remedy for that. So,
Who do you? Oh, sorry.
oh yeah, I'll just say it really quick. I think what helped me at Devastation was that they provided these really, really good, I think it was Turtle Beach like headphones.
Mm-hmm.
So every match I wore them, and you know, Kitana's voice and her fans and everything, it was so crisp, and I like literally like blocked out everybody that was there, you know.
Yeah.
But here I didn't have that. They didn't have that. So I heard every like Street Fighter noise and the people roaring and cheering, and you know, like I heard everything. I couldn't hear the game itself. So that could have been a factor because those headphones at Devastation like really got me in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
So I could say bring your own headphones. You know, get in the zone and you should be fine. So,
Good advice for sure. Who do you think? This is an opinion question. There's no right or wrong answer. Who do you think is the most underrated player in the scene right now? I mean, someone that, may not consecutively place top 8, or maybe they don't get to go out to too many tournaments.
I'd have to say he's still pretty good. The Quan Chi player.
Yep.
He hit that final, flawless victory, and, for his first major, I mean, he got top 8 with Quan Chi, I think. Not sure if he used Quan or not, but he is so good. I mean, whichever character he plays, he's just so good. And he trains with VSM, which is, no surprise why he's so good, but,
Right.
I think people are sleeping on him. Maybe they're realizing that he's really good, but I really think that should he go up to future tournaments, he's going to do really well. And people are just kind of, yeah, they're sleeping on him. I'll say that.
So look out for him in Super Bowl.
Yeah, I really think he has so much potential.
That's one of my favorite things about the scene is I find that there's usually a lull where people get almost too comfortable.
Yeah.
And then there's that one breakout. Like you look at really Sonic Fox was a breakout.
Yeah.
You look at Kerbo was a huge breakout.
Yeah, very good.
Ikizzle was a huge breakout. You see these players that...
Can't forget me.
And you, yeah, of course, you. But you see these players that just come out of nowhere and win.
Yeah.
And that's... You were talking earlier about the whole underdog thing. That's what makes, these tournaments so much fun to go to.
Yeah, definitely.
It's that one guy that maybe doesn't even post on forums or anything and just plays in his basement 24/7, decides to show up for a major and then takes it. That's hype right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of it, like you said. I think like Big D, the Nightwolf player too.
Oh, Big D was phenomenal.
I love seeing that. I love seeing underdogs just in the top 8. I don't think an underdog has won. I think I was like the closest getting second, but no. I lied. Ikizzle took power up.
Yeah, Ikizzle just took power up.
Yeah. So when he won, I was so happy. I mean, when he won power up, I don't think he was really considered an underdog. I think people knew his potential. Final round was his where he debuted like second, and then he won power up. So my hat's off to him. So,
what is your word of advice for aspiring and current tournament players out there? The one segment of wisdom that could immediately improve their game. What would you tell them?
I would say, I mean, even if you're getting if you're losing consecutively, if you're getting blown up, whatever, don't give up. Don't drop the game just because of that. I mean, that's the only way you're gonna win. You have to play good people. You have to accept your losses, and you have to, figure out what can I do to get better, and then you apply those strategies, and you'll see that you're gonna get better. But, just have faith in yourself and have faith in your character. Don't doubt your character and don't doubt yourself. Because once you have doubt, then you're not going to be really successful. So, yeah.
Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, we've talked in depth about a man who has graced our community with his positive atmosphere and courage. Mr.Mileena, I want to thank you for taking a stroll down Boon Street. I now give you the podium to say whatever you would like to say, whether it be shoutouts, callouts, thoughts, feelings, words of wisdom, whatever you like.
Well, okay, first of all, I just want to thank you so much for letting me be on the show and, having this, I'm nervous, for letting me be on the show and for letting myself express myself and, I really, I appreciate it so much, As far as shoutouts, I just want to shout out all of TYM. You guys are great. You've known about my life and my personal life for years, and you don't care. I mean, you're my friends, and you support me for what I do and what I accomplish. So that really feels really good, and I really, really thank you guys so much for not seeing my, I guess my sexuality as a problem. That really does make me feel good, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. Specific shout outs, Pig of the Hut, Lord of the Fly, Detroit, Rio, you, 16-bit, A7, you guys are awesome. You guys do so much for the community. You guys are great people. So we wouldn't be the Mortal Kombat community without you guys in general, the whole community. So you guys are so close, very strong community. So you guys should be proud of yourselves because you've made what is today a successful Mortal Kombat community. So, yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mr.Mileena.
Thank you guys so much.